The United Nations and its various instruments recognize that all human beings are born free and equal in terms of dignity and rights, and that the right to life is protected. But these instruments do not recognize fetal rights. That is, they do not treat the unborn child as a life. The recognition that the fetus is life will compel the UN to deny a woman's right to have an abortion, because life of the unborn will then require protection. The question before us in this video is whether Islamic law treats the fetus or the unborn child as life, and whether it protects it in the same way as it protects a living person. The main issue is whether the fetus is life and at what stage life or spirit is breathed into it. There are several verses of the Quran that discuss the formation of the fetus, and a few even mention rooh, which may mean spirit or life. The first verse says, "Man we did create from a quintessence of clay. Then we placed him as a sperm in a place of rest, firmly fixed. Then we made the sperm into a clot of congealed blood. Then of that clot we made a lump. Then we made out of that lump bones and clothed the bones with flesh. Then we developed out of it another creature. So blessed be Allah, the best to create." This verse does not talk about the breathing of the rooh into it, but it does call the final form as another creature. Another verse does talk about the breathing of the rooh into man. "But he fashioned him in due proportion and breathed into him of his spirit. And he gave you the faculties of hearing and sight and understanding. Little thanks do you give." The breathing of the spirit is mentioned here, but it is not clear whether the context is that of the womb. A third verse talks about the rooh or spirit again. "Behold, thy Lord said to the angels, I am about to create man from sounding clay, from mud molded into shape. When I have fashioned him and breathed into him of my spirit, fall ye down in obeisance to him." The point being made here is that it is not clear at what stage the spirit is breathed into man. It could be when he is fully fashioned and stands erect, unlike other creatures. There are many views about this, and specialists in Quranic studies can comment on the issue, but for us, the stage is not clear. We may now turn to the traditions. The first tradition is found in al-Bukhari and is very lengthy. After describing the stage where the unborn is like a congealed blood clot and lump that stays in the mother's belly for 40 days, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Allah then sends his angel to him with 4 decisions. The angel writes down his livelihood, his death, his deeds, and his fortune and misfortune. Allah then breathes the spirit into him." In the second tradition, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "When 42 nights pass over the sperm, Allah sends an angel to it, who gives it form, creating his faculties of hearing and sight, his skin, his flesh, and his bones. He then says, 'My Lord, will it be a male or a female?' Your Lord decrees as he desires," which the angel records. The angel then says, "My Lord," his duration. Your Lord decides as he likes, which the angel records. He then says, "My Lord," his sustenance. Your Lord decrees as he likes, and the angel records it. The angel then leaves with the scroll in his hand without adding to or omitting anything from what was commanded. These traditions do not tell us whether the child is a living being right from the start or comes to life at a later stage. The first tradition says that the rooh is breathed into the clot, but the second tradition does not mention the rooh or the breathing of the spirit. The exact time of the breathing of the spirit is important for scholars who discuss this issue because abortion cannot lawfully be performed after life is created, but it may be possible when the fetus does not yet carry life in it. The discussion centers around this timing based on the 2 traditions that we have mentioned. There are different views according to the preference of each scholar, and the matter cannot be said to be settled. We have assumed so far that the word rooh or spirit means life. The question is, what is the meaning of rooh or spirit? Does it mean life? Does it mean soul? Does it mean something else? 2 authors have dealt with the issue at some length. The first is Imam al-Razi, who is the author of the famous Tafsir Kabir. The other, a later specialist in tafsir, is al-Alusi. We will summarize the meanings they have identified. In its first meaning, rooh means the Quran. Among other arguments, Razi refers to the following two verses for this meaning. And thus have we, by our command, sent to you the rooh by our command. The meaning understood is inspiration or revelation. The other verse is, He doth send down His angels with the rooh by His command. According to Razi, the meaning here too is inspiration or the Quran. In the second meaning, rooh is one of the angels, the day that the Spirit and the angels will stand forth in ranks. In the third meaning, the term rooh is used to mean the angel Gabriel or Jibril, peace be upon him. They ask thee concerning the rooh. Say, the rooh is of the command of my Lord. Of knowledge it is only a little that is communicated to you. Also, verily, this is a revelation from the Lord of the worlds. With it came down the truthful Spirit. The Quran says, She placed a screen to screen herself from them. Then we sent our angel, that is, Rooh, and he appeared before her as a man in all respects. Finally, the angels say, We descend not but by the command of thy Lord. This is about Jibril. In the fourth meaning, the term Rooh applies to beings other than angels. This is based on human conclusions. In the fifth and final meaning, the term Rooh means that which is the cause of life. This is a human conclusion based on the understanding of the verses and traditions about the fetus above. As stated, this conclusion is not agreed upon and is not settled. Here, it may be mentioned that the term Rooh does not apply to the soul either. In fact, there are some who believe that there is no concept of the soul in the Quran. The word nafs, which is translated into English as soul by some translators, should actually be translated as person or as life, as the context may indicate. They argue that the blessings like fruits, beverages, and other things mentioned in relation to heaven can only be enjoyed by the physical human being and not by an immaterial essence like the soul. Further, there are indications in the Quran that we will be raised in our physical forms with the power of the Almighty. From the above, we can only conclude, relying on the words of the Quran, of knowledge it is only a little that is communicated to you, that only Allah knows what the term rooh means in the context of the baby in the womb. It could be a special gift given to each human being at the time of their birth or creation. The gifts bestowed by the breathing of the rooh may be the real distinction between humans and other beings who have life. It may be something like that mentioned in the saying of Immanuel Kant. Two things fill me with awe, the starry skies above and the moral law within. Allah knows best. As far as the jurists are concerned, the fetus, in the words of the famous Hanafi jurist Kasani, is life in some respects, but it is not life in other respects. It is for this reason that Islamic law does give some rights to the fetus. It has the right to inheritance and to receive gifts. It was also given the right to freedom if the mother was emancipated. It is obvious that these rights will only take effect once the child is born alive. If it is stillborn, these rights will be reversed. From the other perspective, that it is not life, the compensation for causing miscarriage is 1/20 of the full diyat or blood money. Further, the amount is paid to the mother. Had it been life, a full diyat would have been awarded, and it would pass on to the heirs of the fetus according to the rules of inheritance. All this applies when miscarriage is caused by accident or involuntarily. This brings us to the point where abortion is caused intentionally through the collusion of the pregnant mother and the doctor or whoever performs the operation. As it is an attack on the human body, where the mother is not permitted to injure herself, it will be considered an offense that is subject to damages, which should be unliquidated and not fixed as in the case of involuntary miscarriage. The damages should be paid to the father or his family. by the mother and the doctor. In addition to this, discretionary punishment may be awarded by the state,